Hello, everyone. This is Cody Lee of BlackCatBooks.org, author of I, the Dragon, Cruel and Beautiful, Rabbit Hole, King Deal, Lord Frey, Grim Clover, Internet Blood Sports, and the upcoming Jaw of the Dragon. I am getting increasingly sick of seeing Snoys, the PlayStation fanboys, unabashedly claim that PlayStation is in the process of buying every single major video game development under the sun. Like, oh man, they're buying Square Enix, they're buying Capcom, they're gonna buy Konami, they're gonna bring back Silent Hill, they're gonna bring back Metal Gear, they're gonna make Final Fantasy great again, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that, they're not going to do shit. They can't do shit. People don't want to admit this, but PlayStation is essentially a dead brand, right? Like they have nowhere to go from here. Like all of their like advantages they've had over the past 20 years are gone. They're dead, they're evaporated. There are no more third parties they can cut deal with to not release on Nintendo hardware. It's over, right? Their first parties have gone down the shitter. It's over. Like sales are in the toilet. PS5 is like an unmitigated disaster. Like costs are rising. There is no recovery from this, right? There is no coming back from the failure that they have brought upon themselves over the past 25 years. And it's well deserved, honestly. So PlayStation was never a successful brand. It was never popular. It was never quality. It was just all they did was convince a naive demographic that their games were better and more mature than Nintendo's. Like stupid kids thought Metal Gear Solid was a serious political drama. Like it was pathetic. It was sad, right? But now the thing is, with Microsoft making so many major acquisitions, with Nintendo constantly expanding their ranks and like acquiring studios like Next Level Games and the that filmmaking studio. Like Nintendo and Microsoft are making like big notable changes that will like obviously fuck over PlayStation in the long run, right? Like PlayStation's never gonna get Bethesda games ever again, right? They're never gonna get Activision Blizzard games ever again. And yeah, you can argue that those companies are dead, but at the same time, this isn't going this facade that we've been trying they've been trying to bamboozle everyone with that they're the premier place to play every notable game franchise on the planet. Like it's not going to be a thing anymore, right? Nintendo is going to have their Nintendo games, Microsoft is going to have everything else, and PlayStation is going to have like a bunch of woke exclusives that nobody gives a shit about. Like Returnal was heavily hyped up. It sold like 500,000 units. Horizon Forbidden West was a disaster. The Last of Us Part 1 is going to be an unprecedented failure for a remake, especially considering how how well The Last of Us, the original Last of Us, managed to trick gamers into thinking it was a quality experience. Like I am thrilled about the oncoming failure of PlayStation, but the thing is, PlayStation fanboys, the Snoys, are unwilling to face facts. They're unwilling to face the music. I don't even think I hear people talk about how Sony bundles PS5 and PS4 sales together in order to inflate the sales numbers because the PS5 sales are so poor, right? You don't hear people talk about like Miles Morales bombing compared to the original Spider-Man 4. Well, for one thing, Miles Morales will never be Spider-Man, but you like you just know Snoys in an attempt to downplay the never-ending string of failures that PlayStation has had over the past several years, all they can do is pretend that eventually Sony is going to make some major acquisition that will change everything, right? And at the moment, the rumor is that they're going to acquire Square Enix, and they're going to do all this stuff and really make major changes to what they've been doing. And to that, I say no. Like you have to stop. You have to stop trying to delude yourselves. You have to stop like making stuff up. You have to like stop trying to pretend that PlayStation is in any way relevant. Because we live in an era where there is no more appeal for alternative hardware. Google Stadia is on the verge of shutting down. Amazon Luna is a failure. Like the days of big corporations swooping in and releasing hardware onto like an unsuspecting public are over, right? Like they just can't do that anymore because the market is oversaturated. Like if people want a new piece of gaming hardware, they're just gonna get a Nintendo one. Nobody has any interest in PlayStation hardware because they haven't done anything new or innovative since their very inception. There are no games on PlayStation. There will never again be games on PlayStation. And all I'm waiting for now is for a handful of high quality PlayStation exclusives to make their jump to Nintendo Switch, right? To make their jump to Nintendo hardware. Like I would love to have Shadow of the Colossus on Switch. I would love to have like a proper Kingdom Hearts port. I would love all of that stuff, but we're probably never ever going to get it. It's just such a shame. I PlayStation is going to go down kicking and screaming. All right, like they're not going to stop manufacturing consoles until like literally no one is buying them anymore. And that day might be sooner than you think, but at this point in time, the Snoys are still desperately clinging on to hope that some way, somehow, PlayStation can make a comeback into relevancy.